Kerber won the toss and she elected to receive. It's a nice start. These early stages are always important. Despite what happened 2 days ago, that's one of the challenges, isn't it? You get the biggest win of your life. You don't get too much time to process it. It's straight back to the drawing board, planning, preparing for the next test.
And having that day in between is huge. There were, in the old days, there were matches where you would play back-to-back, and if you pulled a big upset, you had to come out that next day, and it was almost that shock factor. So a good thing for Fernandez that she had the day. And in these first couple games, they're going to just be getting used to each other's games, and lefties playing another lefty. We know how difficult it is to play a lefty, but when you are a lefty also playing a lefty, you still have to make that adjustment also. Oh. This lefty knows that. So you still, as a left-handed player, are still not used to the ball coming at you the way it does when you play your normal opponents, who usually are right-handers.
Both players have won a title this season. Kerber's coming on the grass. It seemed to reignite a certain degree of success for the German. Stepping back onto the grass courts, had a good Wimbledon as well. Surface she's been very comfortable on over the years.
We know that Kerber pretty much hits a flat ball, and then looking across the net, you can see that Fernandez is very comfortable flattening the ball out, also trying to play aggressively. It really took care of her serve, Fernandez, against Osaka in that match. But in that ad court where against Osaka, she could swing that one out wide to the Osaka backhand. Here against Kerber, that's going into her forehand, and that's a whole different proposition.
Yeah, it's a good example, isn't it, of the subtleties that you have to take care of when you're putting together the game plan today.
And from 40 love, losing all those consecutive points, 4 in a row for Kerber here.
Make that 5, an early break then for the German. It's looking like a decent service game for Fernandez when she was up 40 love, but that one's got away from her. 16th seed makes an early move, of course, so the ranking will be continuing to move in the right direction after the last few days for Fernandez. 73 in the world this week, career high. Will be a new career high. The live ranking is around top 50 there or thereabouts. A good jump this season, 88. She started the year, of course, that title in Monterey. One of the standout weeks. sweet.
No one better in the business at changing up direction and pulling that one down the line. And Fernandez has to be ready for that. Kerber is so good at changing direction. That was just tremendous. Kerber a little over anxious on that one, and you can see early that Kerber's trying to establish a little dominance out here as consistently as she plays, and usually is very happy just defending, as he's letting Fernandez know that she can be the boss out here with her ground strokes. One of the things that Fernandez, when we saw that throughout the draw here, she's very comfortable staying close to the baseline. She's comfortable jumping on returns if it presents itself.
It's the Leylah Fernandez box. Mum here supporting her. She's got a fitness trainer as well, Douglas Cordero. He's based down in Florida. Has worked with a lot of good players. Did a couple of training blocks with Fernandez ahead of the Olympics and ahead of the US Open. That's a nice response.
One game on, first sets.
Kerber's going to have to put more on her serve, and you see the eagerness of Fernandez to go after anything short. And we saw that Kerber elected to receive, and I think we now know why.
One of the elements that surprised a lot of people, Elise, after she beat Osaka was the interview. Well, initially the interview straight after the match, but the general approach to that match and the self-belief. Were you the same?
Just amazing, just to hear an 18-year-old say. She was asked, are you surprised? Is there any shock in this? Absolutely not. She walked on that court thinking she was going to win. Got away with it, but we're seeing early that Fernandez likes to go to the drop shot, and even went, I've seen her quite a bit use it on the backhand side there. Did it on the forehand. It really didn't work, other than Kerber making a mess of it there. But we see some strategy early on. And across the net from her is someone who is very adept at the drop shot also, especially off the backhand side.
Settling into this contest.
Look at the court positioning. Fernandez close to the baseline, Kerber pushed back.
There's another sweet forehand up the line.
13.
Should say Elise's got to look out for that.
Yes, and again, it's going to be forehand to forehand here. So it's forehand to forehand, and against most players, that's okay. But against a Kerber who can just hit that so well down the line, you have to be conscious of that. And that's how you handle that. You just change direction yourself.
Seven winners already from these two. Striking the ball cleanly. Help settle her if there are some nerves. Having dropped serve initially, she has the lead 2-1. Early stages of this contest, we are back on serve. 1-2. Break a piece so far.
It's interesting, the entire match with Osaka, Fernandez only dropped serve once, really took care of her serve, and now out here after dropping her first service game, really righted that ship, and taking care of her serve is going to be so critical for taking care of serve, critical for both.
Produced some good aggressive tennis so far.
Yeah, and there's the first game and a half, it looked like that Kerber was really going to try to establish herself as more of the power player out here, but Fernandez responding beautifully.
There it is again.
15-13.
Fourth winner off that wing. I think that's the third up the line.
Well, as a lefty, you naturally want to establish your points cross courts with the forehand. It's your natural shot, taking that cross court and then using those to set yourself up for the down the lines. But you're Fernandez, and against Kerber, you've got to be, again, so aware that she can just change that up on a dime.
Let's first serve.
Pleased with the hold up. Things starting to look a little complicated at love 30, 2 apiece. Reminder to download the US Open app to follow all your favourite players over the second week as we head into week 2. Track all the latest scores, the stats, highlights, player news, interviews. Schedules on there as well daily. Junior events getting underway over the next few days. Wheelchair events towards the end of the second week.
The perfect time to use that shot, and I'm so impressed with how she held this. Watch how she steps in the court, and look how she holds that backhand coming up. Looks like she's going to hit through it and then changes it up at the last second. Just executed perfectly.
Talked after that Osaka victory about how she was trying to figure out hard to get the most out of her return games. So we'll take a quick look at first serve percentages so far. And there's another element that impressed me when we're all trying to analyse what happened at 18 years of age, to have that presence of thought, clarity of thought under pressure. In the biggest tennis stadium in the world, you've got 20,000 there or thereabouts going nuts, and you're still trying to figure out, those very subtle elements of a matchup coming away to try and come away with a victory. Again, another example of extraordinary maturity.
Fernandez leads by 3-2, first set.
Looking pretty settled and comfortable so far. Since we've had 3 players reached 18 and under in the 4th round of both draws during the sit-down. Was talking about Fernandez, Raducanu, Alcaraz, all into the last 16. Got to go back to 1998 since that happened here. It's Marat Safin, Anna Kournikova, Martina Hingis, and Venus Williams that year.
Wow.
It was quite a group.
Incredible defending from Fernandez, making Kerber just pull out the kitchen sink there. The angle on that previous forehand, and then her bread and butter down the line.
Oh, that is sensational. Perfection.
15-13.
I think it's safe to say she's settled.
She is, and she's settled and smart. Because look where Kerber was again, way behind that baseline. And again, you see the tremendous disguise on that backhand. Takes it back like she's going to hit through it. And she is just putting pressure on Kerber early on here, matching her. Now these break chances again.
Kerber sees off the first. It wasn't the most convincing
13-14.
volley, was it? But got away with it.
She did, and not where Kerber wants to be ending points. She's not as comfortable at the net, but held her nerve and got it done.
Second chance. Oh, that is world class.
Juice.
Nerveless under pressure.
Torben Belt, her coach, they've had the go around a couple times and back together and reaping rewards right now.
Doing a good job of making Kerber feel uncomfortable, though, isn't she? And again, you can tell by the body language, reaction after points, 100% belief once more today that she can get another win over one of the very best in the world. And misses, and she gets the break. What a start for the 18-year-old.
4-2, first set.
And that gives you an idea of the size not only of this stadium, but the size of the crowd as well. It's one of those days where not the best weather outside. You get a match like this on Louis Armstrong. The bottom bowl is ticketed, but huge area upstairs where fans can come in and find a seat and invest in this contest. Big court. There's 14,000 there or thereabouts. It seems to be very comfortable. This kind of occasion. It wasn't. Go ahead, Elise.
I was going to say, what Fernandez has done so well is early on make Kerber think she's got to go big and force things. Kerber's preference is more to defend. Her preference is to let you try to come at her, and she's going to make you play shot after shot. But she, from the beginning, Kerber started to try to play fairly big and now is almost being forced to.
Quite brilliant.
30-50.
Being aggressive, but she's not overplaying.
She plays within herself. There's no question about it. And look at the footwork. Watch how she gets around this beautifully with her forehand. It's just really well done. Well coached.
So composed in between points as well. Got the routine that she sticks to. Important part of preparing yourself for each and every point in a match. That's the result.
40-30.
First ace.
And Kerber obviously was expecting something else. 105, it was up the tee, but lefty to lefty up the tee, you rarely see an ace.
Juice.
Relatively inexperienced at Grand Slam level, of course, especially when you compare her career to someone like Kerber, who's been around top of the game for so long. 14th Grand Slam match for the Canadian, 168th for the German, three-time major champion. Certainly hasn't been fazed by quality of the opposition so far.
Kerber's got to know that anything short in the court, Fernandez can take care of it. And that's just a smart return. Didn't go for too much, but kept that return deep. You've got a server in Fernandez who, for the most part, you know is not going to knock you over. Neither one of them are going to knock you over with the serve. So you've got to be thinking a couple steps ahead and develop your points.
Back-to-back double faults. Results in an opportunity for the German. Chance to get this back on serve. resets beautifully.
Juice.
And that's another test, isn't it, when you're looking like you're coming through that service game. All of a sudden, a couple of double faults. Might just shake the confidence, but impressive response.
Kerber knows you cannot just put that return back in the court. And again, we've seen 2 doubles from her, but we've also seen 2 really good slicing serves up that middle in the deuce court.
Three now in this service game. It would be a remarkable effort if she's able to hold here.
It certainly would be. And if you're Kerber, you're going to kick yourself if you don't get the break when someone's double faulted, handed you 3 points. That was a panicked drop shot. The other ones we saw from Fernandez were just perfectly disguised, perfectly placed. That was more of a panic type of an effort there, and got what it deserved. And now Kerber, a real opportunity.
It's a tough game for Leylah Fernandez. 3 double faults along the way. Kerber takes advantage. And she's got this back on serve now. So Kerber will be breathing a little easier, I would imagine. Now this is back on serve. She's got the new balls as well.
We're seeing a dip from Fernandez now, and Kerber is heady enough to recognize it, and for Fernandez, just got to tighten up her play. You don't want to give any free points away, but just going through a bad patch. The 3 double faults, not making Kerber play these last couple points, and just like that, you're going to be at 4-all.
Former world #1, of course, Kerber. Enjoyed a really dominant period. 2016 was an incredible year for her. 2 majors that season, another final. It was the year she won here in New York, beating Pliskova in the final that year.
Now it gets a little more complicated for Kerber here, from 40 love up, and now 40-30, missing that first serve just when you get on that roll.
Game together. Full games over. Best sets.
So 4 apiece. Yeah, she ended that season 2016 as the year-end #1 as well. That's always a special achievement, isn't it? There's being #1 in the world, but there's being year-end #1 as well.
And that's what 2016 was just remarkable for her. And what was even more impressive is that year she's 28. She's 28 years old. It didn't happen out of nowhere for her. She had been around for a long time, and it was 9 years after she had played her first Grand Slam that she wins her first.
Let's. Second serve.
Lost a rhythm on serve all of a sudden.
Think about how she just remarkably took care of serve the entire night against Osaka. Lost serve once. There he is. He became world famous the other night for his enthusiasm.
He brings a lot of energy, doesn't he, to the team.
But these last couple of games, Fernandez losing that rhythm, but looking a little bit like a teenager, and we didn't see that. But we also are very aware of her self-belief.
No, what defense from Kerber. Had no right to win that point, but she's finished on top.
We've seen that time and time again from Kerber in her career. Don't mess with me. I'm going to run everything down. And when she gets in this type of a groove, she's very difficult to put a ball by.
Triple break point. Dominating this period of the match right now, Angelique Kerber. Oh, that is inch perfect. What a way to break. Makes another move.
5 games to 4.
And she will serve for this opening set. 5-4. So 1 down, 3 to go. Serving for this first set. What a rally.
Ms. Fernandez is requesting a replay of the call on the right far sideline.
So clip the net.
We're going to get the close call, look.
Yeah, this isn't a challenge.
But it's just really, well, that point was so vintage Kerber all the way around. Hitting the extra ball, finding the line. There's no way through her.
Yeah, no challenge system as such in operation. It's electronic line calling. But the players can ask to see close calls.
40 love.
And she persists, and that's what Kerber does. She's so persistent out there, and at the moment just kind of broken Fernandez down.
That is a really nice way to wrap up a tough opening set. Fernandez was looking good up a break midway through that set, but just lost a rhythm on serve. It's Kerber who's up a set.
Second set. Fernandez to serve.
So second set about to get underway. Short break in proceedings while Fernandez left the court. Kerber a set to the good. A set from the quarterfinals.
This is an important game for Fernandez after struggling with those serves, throwing in those double faults. But she's got to figure out, how do I beat someone like a Kerber playing the way she's playing today? Can I hit through her? Came out with a clear plan of trying to strike first in points and then trying to use some of her creativity, throw in some of the drop shots. Hit a few very well, but then a couple were just ill-timed.
I expect the crowd to start to get behind her. That tends to be the pattern. I've enjoyed watching these relatively new faces so far this week, the New York crowd. Great support for the Brit. Raducanu on the outside courts. The atmosphere as Alcaraz beat Tsitsipas inside Arthur Ashe Stadium was electric, and the same when Fernandez took out Osaka.
A lot of adoptions have taken place during this event with the crowds, and the biggest adoption was Alcaraz. I've never seen anything like it. It was just wild. But these fans have made a huge difference in helping players through matches.
Yeah, I think Shelby Rogers would echo that sentiment.
Goodness.
Wouldn't she? Yesterday, that victory over Ash Barty at the top of the draw.
And every crowd loves Barty. There's nothing not to love about her. But Rogers just was brilliant, and when she got one of those breaks back in that final set against Barty, she got that crowd going, and it really helped. It was, there have been a couple sights to behold out here that have been just so wonderful to watch and be a part of. And that serve got what it deserved. And when you're, again, that lefty to lefty pattern, if you serve out wide, you better expect that angle cross court coming back, and that's what happened there.
Sensational backhand.
And for Fernandez, she has regrouped after her level dropped dramatically in set number 1. And it lined up. It's the high part of the net. You see the unforced errors. It's 16. But you feel that pressure when you're playing Kerber. That pressure as Kerber gets the hold, that pressure of, if I don't take it to her, I know she's really not going to miss. And so it just becomes that chess match almost in your mind. And a player like Fernandez and even Kerber both have to be thinkers out there. Neither one possess the power to knock you over with that first shot. They're not 1-2 players. They are players that build points and always are thinking.
Touched on how significant the grass season was for Kerber. That victory in Bad Homburg, that was on home soil in Germany. Beat Kvitova along the way, which is always a good result on the grass. Back that up with a semi-final run at the Championships, Wimbledon. Eventually losing to Ash Barty in straights in the last 4. Made semis in Cincinnati as well. That's the big tournament coming into the US Open.
Love 30.
Good wins there. Beat Maria Sakkari from Greece, beat Svitolina, who she could face next. Ostapenko. Kvitova retired in their quarterfinal, eventually losing to Barty again. But gives you an idea of the consistency Kerber's been producing of late.
And that's just really good from Kerber. And showing right now how experience does matter in certain situations. And for Kerber, when she started playing well, one of the things she said was, you know, she always knew she could come back. She says, I know what I can do.
And so does everybody else.
Yes.
3 chances. It's a good job saving the first. How good it's got to be at the moment.
Yes, and that's how good the forehand that she hit, that's how good it needed to be that set this up. That was the easy one. She set it up with a huge one prior.
Forehand goes well long. It is the break of serve. Angelique Kerber,
Second set, and by
former
1
champion
set.
here in New York.
Love 50.
One thing you'll never see from Fernandez is any self-doubt in her body language. She's got that fist pumping.
15.
Never excoriates herself when things are not going well, and they're not going well right now. She's getting a little bit of a lesson from Kerber.
Yeah,
30-50.
just inside the sideline.
And that's just, again, and we've seen it a couple times, just a little bit of panic. And you think, oh, well, maybe I can come in behind that, but you can't give Kerber that type of an angle. But when you do have that sense of panic, then you start to overhit. And a shot like that, where Kerber had left the whole court open, would have been easy.
It's been a really good period for Angie Kerber. Having been down a break of serve.
Kevin leads by 3
midway through that first set. She's dominated the most recent passage of play and in good shape now, just 3 games from the finish line. USOpen.org is your online home for all the live scoring highlights, real-time stats, draws. It's the official tournament website, USOpen.org. Assuming she comes through today, Angelique Kerber that is, where do you have her in the overall scheme? It was an open draw at the start of the tournament, wasn't it? But with the departure of Osaka, of course, and Ash Barty last night, her experience has got to count for a lot, doesn't it? If she comes through this match and moves into the last 8.
Right, she's right in there. And you and I last night, when last we spoke, we were going through that draw, and you just had so many players that were either Grand Slam champions still in the draw, or players that have been close to winning slams. Nicely done. And again, we talk about her just, oh yeah, let me use this crowd now. Let me give it, if I can give them something to cheer for, I'm going to try to get them going. And that was smart. But we had another Grand Slam champion go out today in Halep. But then you've got one that you think should win one in Svitolina, who got through that. Nice from Fernandez there, but there's a big group of players left in this draw who all think they have a shot and think that they can win this, and which is why it becomes so intriguing. These aren't the days when 1 or 2 people completely dominate and you don't really think you have a chance. They all do. Andreescu and Sakari in there both think they do. Pliskova thinks she does. Świątek, Bencic. Nice from Fernandez.
Yeah, it's a good game. Starting to use the crowd. It's good to see whether that has an effect.
Kerber, nice finishing at the net. Haven't seen that.
15 love.
It was a good approach. Did a good job with that short forehand.
Kerber again just making Fernandez hit that extra ball, and incredible, great camera angles, and you could just see how Kerber, how she just gets down to the ball, and nobody gets down the way Kerber does. Uses her body weight so well. The transfer of weight.
40-50.
Extends the advantage, clings on to that.
Kerber leads by 4 games to 2, second set.
The lead she has extends to 2 games. I think Kerber's managed the situation well as well, hasn't she? The focus obviously tends to be on Leylah Fernandez because we're getting used to seeing her at this stage of a major for the first time. But not an easy match for Kerber, because on paper she'll still feel like this is a match she should win. But obviously a lot of crowd support for Leylah. She's just coming off the back of that big victory. Brings a certain amount of pressure. If you're Kerber, you don't want to be heading back to the locker room as the 18-year-old's latest victim, do you? It would maybe, you know, with all due respect to Fernandez, it would maybe feel like a bit of a missed opportunity for the German. Close call. Oh, that was a very close call. A few millimeters deep of the baseline.
13 love.
That's nicely done. 103, but it's not the pace, but hitting the spot. And her bread and butter is the serve out wide, so you go up the tee, and Kerber not expecting it, and for Fernandez, got to keep it close. And this game's so critical, and getting out to that 30 love lead certainly helps.
Out. 30-15.
The other two matches in this bottom half today. Krejcikova, the French Open champion, surprise French Open winner, plays Muguruza. Beat Azarenka in the previous round, and Elise Mertens faces Sabalenka, the second seed. It's a good move forward. Good awareness that that was the right opportunity to get up the court.
40-50.
She looked a little bit like Kerber, the way she gets down on the forehand that set herself up for the volley.
Good hustle. Fighting hard.
Kerber leads by 4 games to 3, second sets, and by 1 set to love.
They're still with a break, 4-3. Fernandez needs to make a move soon. 4-3 serving Kerber. If she makes a quick start to one of these Kerber service games, though, and you get a bit of crowd support, that can make the German feel uncomfortable.
And Kerber, that backhand just shortened the court.
Best of the match.
Look at the smile. And she knows now she's got that crowd going. And incredible second effort from her.
You don't need much encouragement here in New York. Huge volume inside Louis Armstrong. Oh, what a game she's playing here. Almost after every single point now. Gesturing to the crowd. It's just the bottom tier you can see in that picture. There's a huge upper tier to this court.
Oh my.
Game. Fernandez.
And they are up, and she's gotten them up out of those seats. And
second set.
At 18, she's become a pro in so many respects. but it's her tennis that's gotten her to this point where she can bring the crowd in. They were looking for something, and she's giving it to them.
Right on cue. Couldn't have played a better game if she'd wanted to. Can she keep this going now? Very different feel to this match all of a sudden. This crowd fully behind the Canadian. And what a finish.
You know what she just did? She just out-Kerbered Kerber in that point, and that's not easy to do. And look at that angle, the flick of the wrist, and lefty to lefty, cross-court to cross-court, and it was Fernandez coming out on top.
Oh, she's timed this surge to perfection, she really has. Just went off the boil for a few games. She's got things back on track impressively, playing some of her best tennis right now.
That was the beginning of the downfall in set number one, throwing in some of those double faults.
They've done such a good job of tidying those up. 3 in a single game towards the end of the first set. Deja vu. It's the 6th of the match.
She's like nodding. Okay, all right, I know what's going on. Broke my momentum, but I'm gonna try to bring it right back here. Got to get that first serve in. Got to get that point started.
Just 7 of 19 second serve points won today. Reset superbly.
And when she wins these points, she does it with style, with aggression. And okay, everyone, I know I threw in 2 doubles, but I'm going to get it right back, and you're going to be along the ride with me.
It's a great finish, particularly after the back-to-back double faults. Impressive stuff. Once more from the teenager. Louis Armstrong crowd loving it.
Fernandez leads by 5 games to 4.
She has the lead.
First set, Kerber.
Eyes on Angelique Kerber then. She serves too. Try to stay in this second set. It's a great start for the Canadian.
It was a tremendous 3-game run for Fernandez, and threw a little adventure in with the double faults the previous game, but Kerber just feeling it now, feeling some of that pressure.
Wasn't far away from dropping over.
And Kerber knows she's playing an opponent right now who is just riding this wave of good tennis. Struck the forehand down the line so beautifully, is anticipating Kerber's shots a little better. Execution.
Gave the return everything.
Kerber threw that first serve. She just hit the last point that didn't go in. Was only 88 miles an hour. And Fernandez knows she's going to get some looks. But that's much better, and that's how you quiet a crowd down.
5 games over, second set.
Experience.
Yeah, absolutely impressive service game. The 33-year-old from Germany. Incidentally, it's Leylah Fernandez's 19th birthday tomorrow. That would be a pretty sweet birthday present, wouldn't it? Place in the quarterfinals of the US Open. Doing some good things in the doubles as well into the third round here.
Yeah, we're seeing players pulling off some nice wins in singles, still in doubles. Fernandez, Shelby Rogers still in doubles. Overnight sensation, they got her on Ash. Nice draw.
Are you a big fan of the young players playing doubles in terms of game development?
Well, we're coming up in a generation where we all had to play singles and doubles, and it was just a part of the game that you would play both, and all. When I played, most of the greats did play doubles also, and I think that it does help. I understand that the intensity of the game it's different now, and that takes a lot out of you. This is that one. And I think Krejcikova certainly showed us in Paris what you can still do. And Fernandez about to put the pressure right back on Kerber. To serve to stay in the set if she can hold off here with this 40-love advantage.
Exactly what she was looking for. Stress-free hold of serve to move ahead once more. She's up 6-5.
You just sensed it. Wow.
What a hustle. I thought she'd made a mess of it with the initial pickup, which was a little heavy-handed, but...
Look at this. Look how she closes in. She just closed in, and she's got really nice hands, and love the way that she smiles. And you smile like that, you just bring that crowd in even more. She knows she's in the midst of something special again.
Yeah, first point is huge in these games. This is the opportunity she was looking for. Points from taking us into a decider. Back comes Kerber.
15-30.
She knows she's going to have to step it up, Kerber. Fernandez has cut out the unforced errors. She's riding a wave. Kerber's going to have to win this.
Venom and intensity from the German this time.
And so smart going behind Fernandez. Right there, goes behind her, especially when Fernandez has been hitting the forehand exceptionally well.
He's not done yet in this 12th game.
Well, the forehand is coming through, and Kerber's got to be aware of that. Right now, better bet is keeping it to the backhand.
Pressure building.
Advantage. Fernandez.
And that's the effect it can have. It's done enough to make Kerber feel uncomfortable in this game.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Set point. What a forehand. The power and depth.
Juice.
Kerber shaking her head like, I'm ready to go to battle, go toe-to-toe. And she needed to right there. And that was just to save the set. Got a lot of work ahead.
Oh, this is wonderful quality right now.
And that's the reactions that Kerber gives you when she knows she's doing something special.
Both players raising their games towards the end of this second set. Around 14,000 in this place, loving every minute.
And that's the level Fernandez is making her reach.
Well, another incredible exchange. How good was the tail end of that game?
6 games all, second set.
Both players giving it everything.
Just incredible, and Kerber just sticking that racket out when she needed to. What an effort from both, and look at the reaction. We are battling.
Yeah, you couldn't really watch for any more, could you? This sort of match, this sort of stage of one of the biggest tournaments in the world, a huge arena. Key stage of the contest, and both players playing their best tennis. Into a breaker. What effect does that have on Fernandez now? It must feel like she played a pretty good game. Oh, how good's that? Comes back with interest. Fitness coach living every second of this one. Some wonderful creativity, isn't it? They've been going toe-to-toe just recently, but a nice change-up, bit of change of pace, short angle. And it made the difference.
And then went behind her and watch Kerber try to change. Yep. My feet are great, but not good enough for that. And what an effort from Fernandez. Tie-break records this year, neither one of them have played a lot. Kerber is 2-2, and Fernandez is 0-2 in tie breaks.
Just brilliant. Fernandez, who raised the game initially, back came Kerber to hold, to force the breaker, and Fernandez has taken it up another level.
Winning that forehand-to-forehand battle. Fernandez coming out on top and setting things up.
This is a special passage of play from the teenager. So impressive how she hasn't allowed her level to dip at all since that 12th game slipped away. Didn't dent the self-belief one bit. Firm control now. What a breaker she's played. Just mind-boggling the level she's producing on this sort of stage. Perhaps it shouldn't come as any kind of surprise after what she achieved against Osaka, but to back it up 2 days later, in some ways it's equally as impressive, isn't it?
Even more so against a completely different player in Kerber, who really had things under control. But this young lady did it against Osaka, was down and out. And we know she has this belief.
Which is like gold dust in this sport, isn't it? If you can back yourself in these situations.
The pressure that Kerber started putting on Fernandez's game, it's just been turned around, and Fernandez is putting that pressure on Kerber's game now.
almost a carbon copy of a
5-3.
forehand return that Fernandez produced early in the breaker. It makes things more intriguing. And all of a sudden, this becomes a huge point.
First serve will make a huge difference.
Kerber.
5-4.
She is so tough
Fernandez.
to finish off.
Fitness coach, Doug.
Response.
6-4.
Just when you think it can't get any better.
Fernandez.
What a time to produce that kind of magic. 2 set points. First one saved.
6-5. Fernandez.
Fernandez makes her hit 2 winners. The second one doesn't come back.
A chance. Seals it. Listen to that crowd. What an extraordinary conclusion to that second set. And it's turning into another match to remember for the teenager from Canada.
I think it's fair to say, how does Kerber rebound? She's a pro's pro. She's been here before. That was a disappointment. Losing that second set, but she's got to be thinking, if she can play, if my opponent can play at this level, then that might be too good. But I don't think that she can keep this up for another set. So I'm going to get back to doing what I do, and I'm going to come at her. I'm going to play consistently and see what she's made of.
To make it physical in this deciding set. Early stage is always important. Kerber, as the more experienced, will be even more aware of that.
Couldn't ask for a better start if you're Kerber, sending the message to your younger opponent, less experienced opponent, that I'm coming right back at you.
It's a relatively low-key start to this decider after the fireworks at the end of the second.
And it's just to keep that up, and even for the crowd, my gosh, the emotion.
Seen many shots of Douglas Cordero courtside. I think fitness coach to Leylah Fernandez. This is where those sessions could pay off, all the hard work away from the match court. There he is, watching some of the training videos that he posts on his social media, working with Fernandez before the Olympics, sessions on Miami Beach on the sand, watching her sprinting up hills.
Smart serve there. Into the body, into that backhand side, not giving her the angle. And from midway through that second set, Fernandez, all those winners just found that groove with her shot making. It's relentless.
It's often a good indication, isn't it, when you look at the stats and you see the winners to unforced errors ratio, both in the positive for both players. Huge number of winners for both. 34 for Fernandez, 20 off the forehand, 24 for Kerber, 19 off her forehand.
Kerber digs in, she gives you nothing. So it's again going to be up to Fernandez. Going to have to be the one to take it.
Game to win. It's only natural to have a slight drop off, isn't it, after such an intense conclusion to a set. I'm sure that would be the message coming from the camp if they could get out into court and offer a few words of wisdom. Try and keep those levels high, but it's not easy for a player so young, is it? It's got a difference between the junior game and the senior game. There's many more ups and downs. The younger players.
Kerber serving. These are new balls. Usually favors the server. She's also got an opponent across the net that is just ready to pounce. Look at Fernandez's build, and she is slight of build, but showing incredible power. Her timing off the ground is exquisite. Oh, that's just so good. set up enough and just punishing any forehand like that. We just talked about the timing. This sits up and she just throws everything at it. This is an edge of your seater.
So much on the line, a quarter-final spot, not a major. Svitolina, remember, waiting for the winner of this one. She came through against Halep earlier today.
Let's second serve.
Clean as a whistle.
The difference maker in this match right now, well, the Fernandez fight, which we knew about, and it's the forehand. That's the biggest shot on the court at the moment, and doing damage.
First break point of this final set then presents itself to the young Canadian.
Oh. Tell him in that first serve, just feeling it, trying to put a little more on it.
Oh, she's missed it. The second serve was short.
Oh.
She went after it.
What he's telling her is just regroup right now. You see the second serve that she just threw in? She's feeling it. Just keep coming at her.
Drop shot wasn't good enough.
Fernandez possesses that. She got some nuance to her game, but probably not the timing for it because she's just hitting through the ball so well.
German did well to cling on, survive that game, was under some severe pressure. Moves ahead, 2-1 final set. Early stages of what has been an absolute cracker inside Louis Armstrong Stadium. One on serve early in the third, 1-2. Fernandez serving.
It's 1-2, and that was a 1-2. And that's what you want. She got the nice first serve in and then got the short ball on her forehand. And look at those 23 forehand winners for Fernandez, 20 for Kerber. But I would say the big difference has been the Fernandez forehand, especially midway through that second set. Started to really connect. Kerber, throughout her career, she thrives on brawls, and you can call this one a brawl in only the best sense.
It's funny you say that, Elisa. Just looking at her 3-set record over recent weeks, it is very, very impressive. for the German. In fact, she's won her last 8 3-set matches. That goes back to Bad Homburg, that grass court title she won a couple that week against Anisimova and Kvitova. Won an incredible match against Sorribes Tormo at Wimbledon. That was another 3-setter. Sasnovich 3 sets at Wimbledon as well. Another 2 in Cincy, Svitolina and Ostapenko, and 2 this week. So she's going to draw a lot of confidence from that, isn't she, at this stage of such a big match. World-class exchange between these two.
14-30.
And it's so rare that we get to see a great lefty-to-lefty matchup, and that's exactly what this is. How do you not love her? Smiles after those big points. Just taking all of this in is Fernandez. Kerber under a different type of pressure.
Juice.
Kerber's the one that's expected to win. Fernandez expects herself to win, but most people expect Kerber to come out on top in this one. And Kerber has a US Open and a Wimbledon, and late in her career, I think she realizes that this is another one that could be within her grasp.
There's a chance for the German then. It's her first opportunity of this decider. Pretty good success rate today in terms of break points, converted 4 of 6. Can she make another move? Nice cool.
Juice.
Not much phases Leylah Fernandez.
No, and very clear in her thinking. This point, using that forehand. Oh boy.
Incredible, incredible stuff from the teenager once more.
You saw it coming.
Advantage.
Oh, that drop shot was well executed in that it brought Kerber in a place that she's not as comfortable. And the legs of Fernandez in the end winning her this one. Oh, so good.
That was a big hold of serve. Not only coming through the game, but the way she did it too.
That she had the gumption to hit that drop shot and not only hit it, but execute it.
To the social channels to stay across all the events. Here at the US Open, as we head into the second week, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Join the conversation with hashtag US Open. Forehand up the line, wasn't it, from that position on the court?
I'm going to start calling it double F. Fernandez forehand. It's the difference maker out here right now. Maybe one of the best serves she's hit all match. Kerber. Shorten the court, bread and butter out wide.
Previous hold gave Fernandez a huge boost. Just knocked a bit of the stuffing out of Kerber. Double break points. And she breaks. The youngster makes a move in the fifth game of this decider. Fernandez leads 3-2.
Final set.
Squeezed it wide. The defense forced her perhaps to just go for a little too much. There's the momentum right now. All the right decisions at the moment.
Look, went to the natural play, even though she's playing a lefty, was comfortable with the wide serve, set up the forehand, and then shows that she's got more beyond that. She really developed a complete game. Look at that, last 10 points, 9-1, breaking Kerber down. Just easy pickings, and not only breaking down the game of Kerber, but if you can break down someone's will, that's even more impressive.
Fernandez leads by 4 games to 2. Final sets.
The reaction from the team once more, the intensity has stayed right up there for Leylah Fernandez after that thrilling conclusion to the second set. It's the 18-year-old playing just the 7th Grand Slam main draw who's completely bossing this match.
We are watching something absolutely remarkable. Playing one of the greats of this generation, and you can put Kerber, former #1, 2-time Grand Slam champion, future Hall of Famer. Outplaying one of the best in a type of match that Kerber loves. Just getting into the nitty-gritty, and Fernandez just taking her right out of it.
That's the thing, isn't it? You know, that's what we all wondered, how Fernandez would be able to compete with one of the best in the business in that department. We were referencing the 3-set record of late. If it became this sort of match, would the youngster be able to find a way? So far, she is. She's doing it in style as well, let's face it. Playing aggressive tennis, but she's only committed 5 unforced errors so far in this decider. Chances for a double break. Incredible level. And in firm control now. The finish line in sight. Fernandez will serve for a place in the quarterfinals. The luxury then of a double break of serve. She knows if she doesn't get it done here, she'll get another opportunity, but we'll want to firmly close the door right now.
You watch in these last couple of games, you see the reactions of Kerber. She has broken Kerber down, and you would have thought it would have been the opposite going into this match.
Down 5-3 in the 3rd set in the 1st round. Kerber found a way to victory on that occasion. But this is a different kind of challenge against a very, very special young player. It's just missed. 2 down, 2 to go.
She is human, and something Kerber has to hope for and remember.
From Kerber.
30-40.
If she can keep repeating that, then we're still in a match, but that it has to be that good. Tall order.
Goodness me.
Juice.
Serving for a place in your first Grand Slam quarter-final, down break point. This is the way to save it.
And the angle and the pace created is remarkable.
Breakpoint chance for Kerber at this deciding set. 4 of 8 converted today.
In these moments, you stick with your bread and butter. You stick with what you know. Wide serve, lefty wide serve, even to a lefty, still opened up the court.
Let's. Second serve.
What a dig. Kerber played a wonderful point. I must have thought she was in good shape as she moved forward. That was a world-class response. And the look to the coach says it all. It's just been too good. Canadian with match point. Leylah Fernandez, who turns 19 tomorrow,
4-6, 7-6, 6-2.
gives herself the perfect birthday present, a place in her very first Grand Slam quarter-final. It is another performance to remember for the Canadian. She's done it 6-2 in the third.